friends, I am Dr. S.P. Patil. So in previous video we discussed about the polarization by refraction and double refraction. So in this video we discuss about the Huygens theory of double refraction, then difference between the positive crystal and negative crystal, and optical activity and specific rotation. So all these things we will discuss in this video. So initially we discuss about the Huygens theory of double refraction. So, Huygens explained the phenomenon of double refraction on the basis of principle of secondary wavefront. So, according to Huygens, when ordinary light or unpolarized light is incident on doubly refracting crystal, see this is the unpolarized light. Optic axis and also surface of crystal. Okay. Now what happens when unpolarized light is incident on a doubly refracting crystal? Then it is found to produce two refracted rays. One is known as an ordinary ray and second one is nothing but the extraordinary ray. Now again what happens? The velocity of the ordinary ray is same in all direction and has single refractive index mu O is equal to, we can write C divided by VO. Now here C is nothing but the speed of light, VO is nothing but the velocity of the ordinary light, and mu O is nothing but the refractive index of ordinary ray or light. Okay. Now what happens, and due to this reason we get a spherical wavefront like this. Okay. Now after that, but the velocity of extraordinary ray varies with the direction, and therefore we can write refractive index for extraordinary ray mu E is equal to, we can write C divided by VE. Now here also say mu E is nothing but the refractive index of extraordinary ray, speed of light and velocity of extraordinary ray. Okay. And here also the refractive index is also changes with the direction. Okay, and therefore here we get elliptical wavefront. Okay. Now along the optic axis, here along the optic axis the velocity of extraordinary ray and ordinary ray is same. Okay. Now after that we discuss about the difference between the positive crystal and negative crystal. Okay. Now first difference, what is meant by positive crystal and negative crystal? If velocity of ordinary ray is greater than velocity of extraordinary ray, then it is said to be a positive crystal. Now similarly, here the first difference is when velocity of extraordinary ray is greater than velocity of ordinary ray, then it is said to be a negative crystal. Okay, so this is the first difference you have to write. Now second difference is related to the refractive index. Now for positive crystal, the refractive index of ordinary ray is less than refractive index of extraordinary ray. Or we can write mu E is greater mu O. Now here second difference for negative crystal. Here refractive index of ordinary ray is greater than refractive index of extraordinary ray. Now third difference we can write the velocity of ordinary ray is same in all direction because the wavefront is spherical. Okay. Here also same difference is there for negative crystal. That is the velocity of ordinary ray is same in all directions. So I will write here velocity of O ray is same in all direction. Here also same difference. Velocity of ordinary ray is same in all direction. Okay. Then fourth difference is here I will write spherical wavefront lies outside the elliptical wavefront. That is, I will draw a diagram. Spherical wavefront now this is the spherical wavefront, that is O ray, and this is ellipsoidal wavefront, that is E ray. So what is the difference? Here fourth difference for positive crystal is spherical wavefront lies outside the E wavefront. Okay. Now here fifth difference for negative crystal. In case of negative crystal, what happens? The spherical wavefront lies within the E wavefront. Okay. So fourth difference. So here O wavefront or O ray, this is E wavefront or E ray. Understood? What happens in case of negative crystal? Here if we see this figure, then it is observed that spherical wavefront lies within the E wavefront, that is ellipsoidal wavefront. And last difference, examples. So example of the positive crystals are quartz and ice, and example for negative crystals are calcite and tourmaline. So these are the examples of negative crystal. So one more time I will explain about the Huygens theory of double refraction and difference between the positive crystal and negative crystal. Now if we see this figure, then it is observed that according to Huygens, when unpolarized light is incident on a doubly refracting crystal, then it is found to produce two rays. One is the ordinary ray and second one is the extraordinary ray. Now the ordinary ray travels with same velocity in all direction, and we get refractive index for ordinary ray. We can write C divided by mu. That is, it has the single refractive index, and thus we get spherical wavefront. Okay, or we can say that here O wavefront. Okay, but the velocity of extraordinary ray varies with the direction, and its a refractive index mu O is equal to C by VE. That is, the refractive index for E rays also changes or varies with the direction, and therefore the ellipsoidal wavefront is obtained for extraordinary ray. Okay, along the the optic axis, and along the optic axis the velocity of the O ray or O wavefront and E wavefront are same. E wavefront. Okay, so this is about the Hygiene's theory of double refraction. Now positive crystal and negative crystal. When velocity of ordinary ray is greater than velocity of extraordinary ray, then it is said to be a positive crystal. Negative crystal means what? If velocity of extraordinary ray is greater than velocity of ordinary ray, then it is said to be a negative crystal. Now second difference is related to the refractive index. So refractive index of extraordinary ray is greater than refractive index of ordinary ray. Similarly, for negative crystal, mu O is greater than mu V. That is, refractive index of the ordinary ray is greater than refractive index of extraordinary ray. Now third difference is same for positive crystal and negative crystal, and which is related to the velocity of O ray. So third difference is velocity of ordinary ray is same in all directions. And third difference for negative crystal is velocity of ordinary ray is same in all directions. Now next difference is, if we see this figure, then it is observed that the spherical wavefront or O wavefront lies outside the E wavefront. Okay, but in case of negative crystal, the spherical wavefront lies within the E wavefront. Okay, and last difference, that is examples. So quartz and ice, these are the examples of positive crystal. Calcite and tourmaline, these are the examples of negative crystal. Understood? Now after that we discuss about the optical activity. Plane polarized light. Okay, optical activity. For optical activity, see this figure. In this figure, it is observed that when plane polarized light passed through the certain substances like quartz crystal or sugar solution, then plane of vibrations of plane polarized light rotate slowly about the direction of propagation of light. This is the direction of propagation of light. Understood? When plane polarized light passed through the certain substances like a quartz, again sugar solution, then it is observed that plane of vibrations of plane polarized light rotate slowly about the direction of propagation of light. So it is the property of rotating the plane of vibration of plain polarized light by a crystal, then it is said to be a optical activity. And the substance which exhibit this phenomenon called as a optically active substance. Okay, if the substance rotate to the right side or in clockwise direction, then it is said to be a dextrorotatory. Okay, and if the substance rotate to the left side or in anti-clockwise direction, then it is said to be a neorotatory. So this is about the optical activity. I will explain one more time. Here, if we see this figure, then it is observed that when plain polarized light passed through the quartz crystal, then it is observed that plane of vibration of plain polarized light rotate slowly like this about the direction of propagation of light, or we can say that the optical activity is the property of rotating plane of vibrations of plain polarized light travel by the crystal, and it travels about the direction of propagation of light, then it is said to be a optical activity. And the substance which exhibit this phenomenon, then it is nothing but the optically active substance. Okay, and if the substance rotate to the right side or in clockwise direction, then it is said to be a dextrorotatory. And if the substance rotate to the left side or in anti-clockwise direction, then it is said to be a neorotatory. So this is about the optical activity. And next phenomena we discuss, that is specific rotation. Very simple phenomenon is there. Specific rotation. So it is the rotation produced by 1 decimeter length of the solution when concentration of the solution is 1 gram per cc for a given temperature and wavelength of light, then it is said to be a specific rotation. Understood? Very simple definition is there. Specific rotation is nothing but the rotation produced by 1 decimeter length of solution when concentration is 1 gram per cc. Then it is said to be a specific rotation. And therefore we can write specific rotation S is equal to theta divided by LC. Theta is nothing but the angle of rotation in degree. L is the length of the solution in decimeter, and this C is nothing but the concentration of the solution in gram per cc. Okay, if the length is in centimeter, then we can write this formula like this: S is equal to tan theta divided by LC. So by using this formula, we can find out the specific rotation of the substance or solution. Okay, so one more time I will explain the specific rotation. See, very simple definition is there. For a given temperature and wavelength of light, a rotation produced by 1 decimeter length of solution when concentration of solution is 1 gram per cc, and hence it is nothing but the specific rotation. Okay, so this specific rotation we can write by using the formula. Specific rotation we can write S is equal to theta divided by LC. Here theta indicates the angle of rotation which is in degree. Then L is nothing but the length of the solution which is in decimeter, and this C indicates It's the concentration of the solution which is in gram per cc. Now, if the length is in centimeter, then we can write this formula like this: S is equal to tan theta divided by mc. So by using this formula, we can find out the value of specific rotation for a particular substance or solution. Okay, thank you.